I had a situation with the laundry machine as well, and the laundry machine was in Dutch. No, not Dutch. It was in German. The language was German. So the manual, everything, it was in German, and we three people. We were standing over the laundry machine, and we were like, "What the hell do I have to do?"
Why didn't you use
Google
Translate?
We used it, but there were some words that Google Translate didn't want to translate, and we were like, "Is the word wrong or something?" Welcome, guys, to Double Babble, where we are going to talk about something so simple
And sometimes complicated.
Yes.
This topic is on the simpler side, I think.
Yes, I think it's very lighthearted.
Very cheerful. Cheerful?
Kind of.
Yes.
Yes. We forgot to introduce ourselves in the last podcast.
Are we going to introduce ourselves here?
Well, let's do it. I'm Reni.
I'm Annie.
And yes, today's topic is when do you become an adult?
When are you actually an adult? When do you think that? How can we say that we're an adult? Because I know it's not age-wise. I mean,
well, yes, age-wise, I think it's determined by the law. When you become an adult, when you're capable of doing stuff that you weren't able to do when you were.
you can vote
Yes.
for a country. Let's say for our country, Bulgaria, you can vote, you can drive, you can legally drink.
Yes, when you turn 18.
18. For other places, I think it was like 16.
Yes, but I think for America, let's say, when you turn 16, you can get a driver's license.
You can get a driver's license. You can drive with. Yes, but when you're 16, you can vote and legally drink at the age of 21.
Yeah. That's why.
Mikey's here.
Yes. That's why here in Bulgaria, knowing the customs of America, let's say, these customs, when I turned 21, I mean, I was already
Old enough to drink.
And do these things, yeah,
But you somehow had to celebrate it.
Yes, I had to celebrate that if I decide to go visit America, I can legally drink there.
Do you know, one of the things that I wanted to do when I was in America and the States, one of the things I was very happy about is that I was 21 when I was there. And I could drink, and I could go. The awful part was that we used to go on this pool. Well, it's a bar pool, obviously.
Yeah.
But I had to show my ID. Sure, they let me in. I was 21. I was feeling like $1,000, if you want to say. Because I could go there and I could drink. And some of the people that I was with, they were 20, and they didn't even let them in by the pool. Which is like interesting, because in Bulgaria, in our country, you can go by the pool. There's always a bar.
Yes, there's always a bar, but they don't ask for your ID when you're at the pool. If you want to go to a public pool, you just pay the fee, and you're in. And even there are places where you can even order
alcohol. Yeah,
alcohol, but
come on, we all know that we start in our country. We start drinking when we're babies.
Well, it depends.
Kind of. Okay, let me clarify.
Depends.
Well, come on. Even your parents said, "Put your finger, like, taste this."
Yes, of course. They gave me beer. They gave me wine. I mean, that's how. When I became of legal age to drink outside of my house,
you drank.
I knew
you got drunk.
I knew what kind of alcohol appealed to me.
Yeah, you liked. Is alcohol the only thing that determines adulthood? No, mean,
No, of course not. It's not the only thing. I mean, okay, let's say we have
the age restriction.
which is determined by the law.
Yeah.
And in the eyes of the law, when you become 18 in our country, you are an adult.
Mm-hmm. But when?
But when do you really feel like an adult?
Well, this is what I was wondering, because you don't just become an adult when you hit the legal age.
Yeah.
You become an adult way before that for some people. It depends on what. Maybe it's the situations that they go through.
Yes.
The what life puts them through makes them either grow up or stay the same.
Yes.
And for some people it's way before the legal age. For some people it's way after it.
Yeah.
And how do you have to determine when someone is an adult? I mean, maybe when they start work. Is that one of the...
Could be, but as we know, even in our country, there
Everywhere.
are... Well, yeah, but I can say only for our country because that's what I know, that's my experience. But even in our country, there are teenagers, let's say, at the age of 16 or 17, which find jobs for the summer, let's say.
Yeah.
And they
Does-
earn money.
Does this make you an adult? Earning money? Maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe in a way. I mean, you start to learn the value of money. So that's one lesson that life teaches you and prepares you for the future, for adulthood. Maybe one of the things that made me grow up is it's going to get dark, is the deaths of my relatives. And this is one of the things that basically hit me hard, that I should grow up. And at the age of 14, I was already feeling like I was 30,
Yeah.
acting that way.
I think that we can say that we can determine whether we are adults or not by the way that we feel, let's say, because we have heard of people that are at the age of 30 or 40 who inside feel like little kids.
Hi.
And so they show that when they go out in the world. Even me, I think in certain situations I will act like an adult. If the situation is serious and it needs a serious...
But you're saying act like
Well,
an
yeah.
adult.
Well, yeah, because you know me. Most of the times I act like a child. I mean, most of the times I will be goofy. I will, and I don't think that determines whether you're an adult or not. I think that these are just qualities that we have.
Been taught, preserved over the years. Maybe.
Well, yeah, but these are qualities that we see mostly in children, and I think that's why, let's say, if someone older than you sees the way that you act and thinks that you act like a child, he's not going to
Say that
see
you're
you
not
as an adult. Yeah, even though, let's say, you're legally an adult.
Yeah, but still, I don't. Maybe life, the situations that puts you through, makes you grow up
Yes.
and makes you to turn to an adult. But even when you grow up, you preserve, each and every one of us preserves the child in us.
Yeah.
Some of us hate it. And yeah, I mean, does being an adult means that you have to stop acting childlike?
Well,
carefree, like this hyped up person that.
yeah. Well, I don't think so. I think that being an adult is
Combination.
yes, a combination of all of your qualities. I mean, the qualities you preserve from your childhood, the qualities you learn when you get out of the house. I mean, when you go and live alone.
Don't talk to me about that. First day in the States, this was the first time when I was 21, first time that I've lived alone. And I knew how to.
You knew what to do.
I knew how to cook so I won't starve. I knew how to clean everything, of course. I never knew how to do laundry. And I felt like such a kid. I had to ask one friend to help me, basically to teach me how to use the laundry machine.
Well, I think this is different. I mean, you always know how to do your laundry because you know how to wash your clothes
By hand, yeah.
By hand, yeah. But with different laundry machines, there are different.
True, but the fact that I have, up until that point, I have never used a laundry machine.
Well, yeah.
Machine.
Yeah.
Machine. And this is one of the things that I was 21, legally I was an adult, but mentally I was still a child.
Yeah.
This is the thing that, okay, it's somewhere in between, I think.
Well, yeah, because there are always things in life, no matter what age you are, that are going to put you in a situation when you have to learn something new, and that doesn't make you less an adult. I think, that's my opinion.
Thank you for not making me feel so tiny. I was so embarrassed back then.
Well, it's not embarrassing. I mean, when I left the house and I went to another city, I had a situation with the laundry machine as well, and the laundry machine was in Dutch. No, not Dutch. It was in German. The language was German. So the manual, everything, it was in German, and we were three people. We were standing over the laundry machine, and we were like, "What the hell do I have to do?"
Why didn't you use
We used it, but there were some words that Google Translate didn't want to translate, and we were like, "Is the word wrong or something?" And we were like, "What the hell do we have to do? How are we going to wash our clothes?"
By hand.
Yeah, and we had a laundry machine and a dryer machine. So two different machines, but with the dryer it was easier than with the laundry machine.
It was in English?
Yeah. Yeah, the dryer was in English, and so it was easier. Plus, always you just turn it on mixed clothes, and you turn it on and everything is okay.
But then in German it's like,
where's the mix? Where is the mix? Yeah, and so I think everyone has
problems
experience
with the washing machine.
No, I mean, you always get in situations like this where if you call your mother, she's going to be like, "Well, that's so easy, just do this, this, and this," but you were like, "What the hell do I have to do?"
And that's true, that's completely true, but
so
what are we going to do if we don't have an actual adult in our lives? Because I'm sorry, I do consider myself an adult. Halfway there.
Yeah, me as well. I mean, I can do well on my own, even though I'm still living with my parents. I mean, I've seen that I can do well on my own. So it's just that, why do I have to leave the house if I'm staying in the city where my parents live, and it's easier to be in their house, then have to pay for
Rent
then have to pay rent.
on
Yeah.
top of utilities.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
but the fact is that. But the fact. Yeah.
I
but
don't understand.
The fact is that I know that if I leave my home, I will do well on my own.
As long as there is no German washing machine.
Yes. As long as there is nothing in German. Nothing. I have nothing against the language. I just personally can't.
You haven't learned that this is why you cannot understand it.
Yeah.
If you know the language, you would be able to understand. It doesn't matter if it's German, if it's English, if it's Bulgarian, if it's, I don't know, African, which is basically
no matter the language.
One of the hardest languages ever to learn, for me at least, is African. I think there were like 4 sounds instead of letters. Like they do have letters, but it's one of the most difficult languages to learn.
And did you learn it?
Oh no, I didn't even try. I didn't even try. No, it's too difficult. Yeah, I was actually going to ask, do you think that when you give birth, when you bring a life into this world, is one of the things that makes you an adult?
No, I still don't think that makes you an entirely an adult, because this is just another situation in which you have to figure out what to do. I watched a YouTube video last night, and the person, I don't remember what his name was, but the person said exactly this, that he was wondering when his parents were at the age that he is at now.
Right now.
Yeah, and they gave birth to him. And he was like, he remembers thinking how much they knew and how well they were doing in life.
But that was from experience.
Yes, and now in the age that he is at now, he sees that they
right now.
Yes, they didn't have any clue. They were making it up as they went.
Yeah, no, I remember my mom telling me a story that my grandma, she once upon a time, well, no matter that my mom is the second child, my grandma just didn't know what to do. Her sister was crying, my mom was crying, and my grandma was going crazy, and unintentionally she dropped her. And she didn't know what to do, and she just winged it. My mom said that, well, grandma told her that she put like a towel on her head so it won't look swollen, no matter that. Thank God, like nothing bad happened or everything, but yeah, basically you just wing it with the moment.
Yes, and I don't think that makes you more or less an adult.
But then what makes you an actual adult?
Well, maybe when you have been through a lot of situations, maybe, for me at least, a true adult is my grandma or my grandfather. They have went through everything in life that they possibly could. Now all that is left for them is to pass their knowledge to the next generation. And I think this is a true adult in my opinion.
So what you're basically saying is that even your parents are not true adults.
Well, yeah, because they have experienced a lot in life, but they still have a lot more to experience. Yeah.
Here comes the phrase that you learn until the day you die.
Yes.
And it's true. So then, in your way of thinking and following that you learn until the day you die, even your grandparents are not true adults because they have something new to learn every day and every moment.
Well, yeah, but I think that when you're at the age that they are at, the only thing left for you to learn is uh, different things that life brings at you. I mean, like technology, let's say, because when they were growing up, they didn't have phones, they didn't have
No,
computers.
that's not right. They had phones.
Well, okay, they had phones, but they didn't have phones like our phones.
Our phones.
They only had the house.
Cable phone.
Yes, the cable phone.
The one that you just.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And they didn't have the technologies that we have right now. And I guess that's all that's left for them to learn. So, meaning to grow with
The time.
With the time, yeah. But basically, the life lessons that they had, they have gone through them. They have learned them, and that's the knowledge they have to pass on. And yes, you never stop learning until you die, but at a certain age,
At a certain point in your life, you
yeah,
just learn the most important things that you could ever learn.
Yes, and all that's left for you to learn is the
Basic thing.
Yeah.
But though, then in this, isn't the basic things that you learn first?
Well, yeah, but the basic things change.
My head hurts. So much difficulties. No,
Yes.
I really don't know when to determine that you're an adult. Let me put it this way. When I was younger, I've lived through hardships. I've learned many things from life. And then I became an adult to myself for the age that I was. And then growing up, age-wise, I became more childish and more childish and more childish. And so it's like a kind of a regression instead of being an adult and becoming a child.
Well, yeah, I think psychology explains it. I mean, in university we had psychology, and whatever we say, you can't learn the whole psychology for only 3 months, but you go through the
stages of life.
Yeah, through the stages, and so if I remember correctly, it was like for the child from 0 to 3 years, it has one way of thinking. From 3 to 7, it's another, and that's the period where it establishes
itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the learning years. Like
Yes.
Truly learning years.
Yes, I mean there is a saying that if you don't have some virtues, are they called? If you haven't learned them until the age of 7, it's harder. Well, not that you cannot, but I think it's harder to establish them.
Of course, nothing is impossible. It's just a bit harder.
Yes.
It's true. Okay.
And when you reach the teenage years, that's the period where you start rebelling from your parents, because until your teenage years you see them as you see your parents as gods. Basically they know everything and you look up to them, and when you become a teenager that thinking changes into I am God, basically. Yeah, and I know everything, my parents know nothing, and you rebel. And then when you leave the teenage years, when you go into adulthood, as they call it, you kind of go in a middle, let's say, where you start respecting others, but respecting yourself at the same level.
Then it becomes you're God, but I'm God as well.
Yeah.
Let's get along. But okay, so then according to this, when you grow out of your teenage years, then you become an adult. But then there are some people that actually do become adults during their teen years.
Well, yeah, that's because it depends on what life lessons life throws at you.
Yeah, the environment that you live in.
Yeah, for in your case, you went through hardship, and that's why you grew up faster. In my case, I didn't go through hardship that much.
You still went through hardship.
Well, yeah, but it was in a different aspect. It was a different situation.
Life lesson, but still
Yeah,
a hard one to learn.
Yes, but I remember that before my teenage years, I was very selfish, let's say that, and I always fought with my little sister because it was some kind of jealousy
It's
because
like a rivalry because this is one of the things that's because you are the first child.
yeah,
you're
and
always used to getting all the attention.
yes, and now seeing how they act with her and seeing how they act with me, it made me angry. And when I went into my teenage years, my thinking just changed like that. I mean, that's when my sister started rebelling from me. I wanted to be closer to her, but she didn't want me because of the way I treated her before. And in my teenage years, I didn't rebel. I became closer with my parents. And I remember thinking how much my mother knew and how much I wanted to be like her and to know as much as she knows, which is the opposite of what the books say teenage years
exactly.
are.
But the teenage years, according to the books, and basically everyone are different. Each and every person is different. There are no two people alike. Yes, you might have similarities, but no two people are alike.
Yes, and that goes for the adulthood as well. The adulthood that is in the books is very different from what actually happens. Like in our cases, we are legally of age, age-wise, we are considered adults, but the way that we act, the way that we think, it depends on the situation.
It's not always like 100%. We're adults.
Yes, and I personally don't think that adulthood means that you always have to be I forgot the word. Adulthood doesn't mean that you always have to be serious. Yeah, you don't have to always be serious. I mean, you are allowed to have fun and to act childish. That doesn't make you less of an adult, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
I think so too, but I don't think that we can ever determine like a certain time period or a certain situation that you're an adult now.
Yes, and that's why even when I came back to our city and now I live with my parents, that doesn't make me feel less of an adult.
It just makes you a more experienced person.
Yes.
And more knowledgeable, that you can do everything on your own. But it's much easier to rely on someone.
Yeah.
It's much easier to have
and
help.
Yes, and
to know that you can rely on this person, or this person to know that they can rely on you.
Yes, and even then, even now, I haven't stopped searching for jobs. I mean, I don't have a 9-to-5 job because I'm in university, but I have found a way for me to make money
to support yourself.
To support myself, yeah, in order for me not to rely on my parents in that aspect. And when I have enough income, I help them with groceries and stuff, or if they don't have enough to pay the bills, I help them. But still, I don't think that if we are living in the same city, I have to be out on my own and pay rent when I can be with them and we can help each other.
Yeah, it's much better. It's a much better symbiotic to help each other. Like, Well, okay, let's face it. If you have someone by your side, like a partner, you're not going to live with your parents, but that's
Yes.
like a whole different
That's a whole different aspect.
part of adulthood.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I think we can say in conclusion, for us at least, or at least in my opinion, adulthood can't be determined.
At exact age and time.
Yeah.
You have to feel it.
Yes, and you have to have experience different things. You have to have experienced life. That's just it.
Yeah, that's it. Life makes you grow up and become an adult.
Yes.
That's a good one. Do you guys agree? Do you think you become an adult with hardships or with
Life lessons.
life lessons, or how do you determine adulthood?
Yes, you can tell us in the comments, and I think
Well, you can always like, share, subscribe.
yeah.
Leave the comments what you think. Our social medias are always linked either down below, or you can find them in our channel. Listen to our previous podcasts as well if you enjoy them.
Yes, if you enjoy listening to us.
Well, we do always babble about something.
Yes, well, that's why we came to YouTube, to have a positive babble on the internet and
To share our opinions with everyone that wants to hear them.
yes.
Basically.
And we'll see you babblers next time. Bye.
Bye.